Alright, here we have the Anajet apparel printer. This is the FP125. If you are an owner of the Anajet FP125, you may notice a variable here that's slightly different than yours. And what I've done was I've actually retrofit our table to the same table that they're using on the Sprint model right now. And one of the biggest reasons was the FP125 that the table we had wouldn't allow us to use this handy dandy little hoop that Anajet offers, and I really like that because once you place your garment on the printer here, it really allows everything to lock into place. It allows you to get under there and tuck your shirt without moving it around at all, and I probably believe that's why the good people at Anajet changed the table themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lay our shirt on here now. And for those of you who have an FP125 or have been thinking about buying a direct-to-garment printer, we did a lot of research before we made the commitment to buy this machine and looked at some of the competitors out there. And we found that the customer service through Anajet, the people at Anajet were really excited about their product and stand behind it. And they were the ones that seemed to rise to the top when it come to a machine out there that was dependable and one that we know that was made here in the U.S. and was going to be serviced. And this is what they do at Anajet. They make direct-to-garment printers. And some of the other companies out there that do make these, you know, they make printers and scanners and cameras and just everything under the moon. And personally, I found that in life, you know, you want to be successful at something, be the best at one thing, and this is what the people at Anajet have been working on, and they have created a product that I believe that they've done this. We now have our shirt indexed on our machine here, and I'm going to go ahead and send our graphic over to the machine. This is a basic graphic we designed for the 4th of July holiday coming up. It's called Freedom, brought to you by the American Soldier. This is just a pretty simple design, which we've done in Photoshop with multiple fonts where we picked up from defont.com. We pulled a military type font, a script, and then we used just pretty much a basic Times Roman numeral, Times Roman font in here. This is a graphic that didn't take us very long to do, but it has been just received by almost everybody that's seen it with positive remarks. They love the design, and we hope that it's going to be a successful product for us here at the Red, White, and Boom Festival in Columbus this year. And it's a shirt we've been printing a whole lot of them. What we've done is we've set our EK Print Studio settings to an ink drop size of medium. We've also taken our ink level to a 2, set our color mode to a vivid, and we've pretty much brought our graphic in and indexed it from Photoshop from a 12.5 by 16 graphic to where we're going to just bring the image in and it will index itself and align itself exactly where we want on a shirt every time. Now the ink level we set at a 2 because what I like to do when we're running the shirts is actually run it through as a double strike. And what we've learned with working with our printer here is that when you send your image through, you send the image to print on the printer for the first strike, the ink actually begins to sink down into the garment. And as the ink sinks down into the garment and as it's coming out of the tray, it starts to dry a little bit, or I'll say maybe gel. And what is happening is it fills up the garment itself, the weave within the garment enough that will send it through for a second strike with the same droplet size. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here onto the image so you can get a really good look at what the image looks like right now. I hope you can see, like in the red, the graphic itself just looks outstanding, but it looks like there's a slight fade. And what happens is when we go to dry this on the heat press, the the ink itself will fade slightly, just ever so slightly more. And whenever it's dry, set, and cure, we find that the design actually has a slightly faded look, like it's been washed 20 or 30 times. One of them old t-shirts you have that's been around, that's been laundered more times than you can remember, and it looks very aged. And some designs lend very well to that, but for this particular design, we want our colors to be very vibrant. Now, we're ready to send the print back through for its second time, and as it comes out this time, we'll try to take a real quick close look at the colors and how they've changed slightly. You notice the blues are even darker. They're more rich, they're vibrant, they have this very rich saturated look. And the same with the reds. And what happens is when we put this back into the heat press and the ink actually dries, the shirt just looks amazing. The colors remain vibrant, they pop, and you have a beautiful garment where the ink is set into the shirt itself. It's very soft to touch, it's comfortable, and you don't have that heavy plastisol silk screen feel to the shirt, and you're able to deliver a graphic that silk screeners can't even come close to. Where we're using gradients in here and layers and using imagery that is three-dimensional and reaches out and grabs you, a silk screener could never do this under a 4-color process or a 3-color process. We have an unlimited color palette at our fingertips. It's simply your imagination and what you can do in Photoshop. So we have lots of gradients here. The chain on the dog tag looks very realistic. You can see the drop shadow coming off the chain. The dog tags themselves, I mean, all the colors here, there's a lot of things going on that you could not do under normal circumstances in a silk screen. Our font, we threw a black outline stroke on. We put a slight bevel to the font in the Freedom. Again, the Soldier, we overlaid the camouflage over the font. I believe it's come together very nicely, and all in all, you're able to develop a product that you can go out there and sell and offer that right now you're on the cutting edge of technology. You would have to buy 1,000 shirts, bring them over from overseas. If you have somebody come in and they have a simple idea and they want a picture of their dog or their cat, or they're celebrating a special event, in 5 or 10 minutes you can jump into any design software, lay something out, add some color, theme it to whatever they're celebrating, and you create an individualized garment that is a one-of-a-kind. And you can offer it to them at a price that nobody else can deliver. This is amazing how easily you can take an idea from the computer and put it directly on your shirt and bring it to market within minutes and make it available while they stand there and wait. It's just amazing and outstanding. Okay, here we are at the heat press. We're going to go ahead and lay the shirt on. Again, as I mentioned previously just a moment ago, you want to be very careful at this point because the ink is still wet, and anything where the shirt's going to fold in on each other or touch another part of the garment, you potentially can smear your shirt and ruin the garment. So we have it laid on here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hover the top platen over the garment for about 10 to 12 seconds. We have our heat press set at 350 degrees, and once we allow it to go to about 10 to 12 seconds, I'll open it and reset my timer here and close it, and dry it for an additional 22 seconds, and then the clamshell will open up on us and our shirt will be ready to wear. It will be finished. Another few seconds here. The heat press we're using is a very basic heat press that we purchased from US Cutter. We've looked at a lot of different styles of heat press. Some are very expensive, some are very cheap. We found this to be an excellent workhorse for us for the price that we paid for it. It was $500. It's auto opening, and it can read in Celsius or Fahrenheit. We like to use the Fahrenheit just because that's the temperature that we're most accustomed to recognizing here, but whatever you prefer you can switch it to. And here we are. Our garment's finished now. Let's take a look at it, and you can see, hopefully in the light, and what a beautiful garment we now have. Thank you very much for watching.